This is Texans TV.
Texans 360 is presented by BMW, the official luxury car of the Houston Texans. By TDECU, the official credit union of the Houston Texans. And by Caesars Rewards, for every way you play.
We are ready to rock in Houston. Rock and roll.
Another day, another dollar.
Touchdown, Texans. He's in. Rock and roll. Wow, what a play. Let's go home.
Welcome into Texans 360. I hope you've polished off all those Thanksgiving Day leftovers because we've got a brand new 360 for you tonight. We've got Desmond King. We've got fullback Troy Hairston playing a little Jenga. We've also got Thomas Booker's My Football Story and John Harris on the Telestrator. It is a packed show, but first we get it kicked off the way we always do. We sit down with head coach Lovie Smith. He gives us a little preview of the Dolphins.
Right now in the Hyundai Texans radio studio, it's Coach Lovie Smith joining us. Coach, always a pleasure to see you. I know we wanted better results in the game against Washington. Let's start here, though. The inability to run the ball as well as you have been. You've been getting good ground production most of the season. Against Washington, it just wasn't happening. What went into that?
Yeah, and that is the case, too, Mark. I mean, we want to run the football. First, we're a running team. We acknowledge that. And when you can't run it from start to finish, it just makes it that much more difficult. And there's a reason why. It always starts up front. We played an outstanding defensive line. We knew that going in. And just never able to get any push from start to finish, especially in the interior. I thought we held up for the most part at the tackle position, but from guard to guard, we had trouble.
Coach, we get ready to go take out Miami. I think they're pretty good offensively, which you already know. Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Houston boy. And then Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know how much you've gone into Miami just yet, but Tua at quarterback, last year he was almost run out of town. This year he's an MVP candidate. I mean, it flipped almost in 1 year. What have you seen from Tua, or what do you know about Tua going into this game against the Dolphins?
Well, I know, just talking about the quarterback position in general. I mean, we all would like for them to be Roger Staubach right away, but, most aren't. You have to give them a little bit of time. And they have talent. It'll normally come to the top, and that's what we've seen from Tua. Great player in college. I think, matter of fact, we played him last year. I didn't even think he played then, but no. They weren't patting him on the back last year. I know that.
Yeah.
And but he can make all the throws. He's mobile. He can make all the throws. He can get rid of the ball quickly. He's a left-hander, which is a little bit different on how the ball is coming out. And a lot of their success is kind of based on what, if you look, teams having success, normally quarterbacks playing pretty good. It kind of starts with that, and that's definitely the case. It will be a challenge for us this week to be able to get some pressure. Our defensive line did some good things yesterday. Getting Mike Dwumford back in there. Malik Collins is healthy now. Jerry Hughes plays the normal way. And Obo, of course, is in an outstanding job. So we'll need to be on top of our game this week.
I know you work out. Is there a dessert, a definite go-to dessert for Thanksgiving?
Absolutely, pecan pie.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And he says it properly, of course, Texans. You know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I've got a few more football questions here, Coach. All right, so we talk about pressure up the middle, and you've been playing all these outstanding defensive fronts. How hard is it to work on that stuff in practice? Because you see them on Sunday, and during practice, trying to simulate what they might do. Yeah. How difficult is that to improve the technique or whatever needs to happen in the middle, no matter who's playing?
Well, I think it's difficult to get exactly what you're going to get from some of the guys that we played lately. But technique, though, you can practice technique. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is about just the football position that you're in, a bent knee football position, hand placement on a lot of it, first steps. There's so many things that you can do. It's no different than, a good boxer. They're not just blowing, they spar.
Right.
You can spar and get in position, and game day, you got to be able to let it go.
Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. Best of luck.
Anytime at all.
Should be a great test for the Texans going up against Tua Tagovailoa and those offensive weapons, especially with the secondary, and can't wait to see how that turns out in Miami on Sunday, noon kickoff. But first, let's kick it with this guy. Troy Hairston's been doing some nice things on offense. He switched from linebacker to fullback, and now pro Jenga player.
Straight out of Detroit, we got a guy who grew up there and then went to Central Michigan and was awesome on the defensive side of the ball. He was sacking quarterbacks, dropping dudes behind the line of scrimmage. So good, in fact, he was the Defensive Player of the Year for the MAC. Mr. Mack, though, came to the NFL, and they switched him over to fullback, and now he's busting heads, clearing the way for one of the greatest running backs in team history in Dameon Pierce. We're talking about one of the best fullbacks in the land. They call him T-Roy. We're going to call you Troy Hairston by your name. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Let's play a little Jenga. You're
So I go first?
You're first, of course.
I'm going with the easy one.
Yeah, the easy one.
Oh, no.
Careful now. I famously have lost every single game, so you don't want to break the streak. You want to keep winning, okay?
Okay, cool.
All right. Oh, it's a good one.
Were you a Disney or Nickelodeon kid? Oh, I was definitely a Nickelodeon kid. I used to watch Jimmy Neutron, stuff like that. Like, they used to have Boomerang at the end of Nickelodeon. So at the end of the night, they used to have the old Flintstones and old cartoons.
Oh, yeah, the old stuff. Okay. Now, speaking of the Flintstones, did I hear you have a nickname, Bam Bam? Or some people calling you that?
Yeah. It kind of, I think our OC or Danny Barrett had actually called me that, and it kind of stuck.
That's pretty good. You can kind of connect with Bam Bam. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, put it on top. Don't knock it over. Here we go. Okay, we're off to a good start. I'm going to go low too. Ooh. Who is your celebrity look-alike?
Okay, so growing up, people used to make fun of me because of Troy from High School Musical.
Okay.
I've been told I look like Corbin Blue.
That's the most unique one we've ever had on the show.
Really?
Yeah, most people say something else and it's like, oh, okay, yeah. But I've never heard that one. I like it.
I used to hear it a lot. So
it's better than that. It could be much, much worse. Always remember that. Always remember that. All right, I'm gonna go down here. All right. What would your walk-up song be?
Oh.
You walk into a room the rest of your life. You're walking up the plate as a baseball player.
This is gonna be funny, but Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. The glass breaking and everything. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
You walk in there full of energy. So
Wrestling guy? You like wrestling?
I used to when I was a kid.
Was he's your favorite?
Yeah, used to be.
He's got even if you don't like wrestling, he's got a hell of a podcast. You should listen to it.
Okay, cool,
Really
cool.
good podcast, really interesting stuff to really good interviewer. Okay, you're up. It's your pull. Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's the bottom line.
There you go.
There you go.
What is your zodiac sign? I think it's Sagittarius.
Okay.
December 8th.
Okay.
So it's about Sagittarius, is that right?
I only know mine. I'm a Leo, so yeah. Leos are kind of selfish anyway, so that's kind of makes sense. But Sagittarius, do you have those qualities that people say Sagittarius people have?
I don't know nothing about it.
There you go.
As far as that go, I don't know nothing about this.
No problem. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Boy, I don't know, man. You think it's gonna last?
No, I don't think so.
No. Think it's coming down soon?
It'd be cool if you lose right here.
Yeah. You want me to? Okay. Oh, here we go.
No pressure.
Oh, we're gonna learn a lot about you here. What's your guilty pleasure song? Comes on in the car and you're by yourself. It comes on in the car and you're just belting it out. But if there were other people in the car, you might not be singing it, or you just change the channel, or maybe you're singing it in the shower, or don't want other people to hear you singing it.
It had to be Root by Magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that go?
I don't want to sing it.
Dang it, I almost got you. Got you.
See, it's a guilty pleasure. I can't sing in front of you.
Fair enough. Yeah. Let's.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Who on the team would you not let date your sister, if you had a sister?
Who would I not let date my sister? I don't know. We have a good group of guys. I think everybody's okay.
You're a good rookie, man. I like that political answer. That's a good answer.
I think everybody okay.
Okay, you got a bunch of good dudes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So. Oh.
Well,
Are you playing with fire?
that's the way Well, Troy, it's been good playing with you. We really appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
Let's do it again sometime.
Yes,
Cool.
sir. Yes, sir.
Coming up, John Harris breaks down some defensive plays against Washington. That's next on Texans 360. Welcome back to Texans 360 against Washington. This Texans team lost, but a few positives to come out of the game. The Texans defense forced a 3-and-out to start the game. They only allowed one offensive touchdown. And Christian Kirksey hit 700 career tackles as a milestone. Made some big plays early in the game, especially, which you're about to see with our very own John Harris, who breaks it down in this week's Telestrator.
Texans runs defense against the Commanders showed a lot of improvement. It started right away, first play of the game. So let's take a look here. You can see the Commanders try and spread the Texans out. And that's going to leave right now, as it sits, they've got 6 guys in the box here. So they've got these 6, and Tab's kind of on the corner of it. So the Commanders want to do is just play 5-on-5. They're going to move some around here. They're going to move Logan Thomas in motion. And that's going to create a little tighter box. You're going to bring Christian back into the box here. But the key here is this front 4. And this is the way this has got to be played. The first thing, Jerry Hughes sets a great edge right there. Great job right there on the left tackle. He sets that edge, so that play is not going outside of him, but he doesn't get too far upfield that it opens a seam right there for the running back. So he sets a good edge right there. Roy is going to fight through that double team, doing everything he can to keep that guy from getting off to Kirksey. And then he's going to keep running that lineman down the field. And then you got Obo on the backside just screaming. And all of a sudden, you've got 5, 6, 7 blue shirts to the football, making that run, no yards, 1 yard gain. I mean, that's excellent. Let's take a look at the end zone view here, and you can see they're going to try a double here, try and get out here on Jerry, and then they're just going to wash this thing down the line of scrimmage and allow backers to get there, and then Obo to come from behind. So this is great team run defense, all pieces working together. Look at all this. He's got nowhere to go. If you close up all the gaps, Robinson has nowhere to go, and then everybody gets there. Team tackle, no gain. And man, the Texans have got to continue to do that, especially against a pretty solid running team like the Miami Dolphins next week.
Under center with Gibson in the backfield. First down from the Washington 24. It's Robinson in the backfield getting the carry, but the Texans are all over it for a 1-yard pickup. Gang tackle there as Christian Kirksey gets there with Obo, and it's 2nd and long.
Run defense made a lot of strides. We already talked about that, but I want you to look at a form tackle clinic put on by Christian Kirksey. And as a linebacker, fill in gaps like you're supposed to. This is a run here by Brian Robinson Jr. And the Commanders are going to run a little counter here. They're going to try and kick out here on the defensive end, lead up with the H inside on Christian Harris. But the great thing about a linebacker is when you see space, you got to fill it. And Christian Kirksey fills that space, and then wham! I mean, that is form tackle to a T, and he didn't go in there to throw a shoulder. You can see that left arm wrap around his ankles, which is a perfect form tackle. So let's take a look from the end zone. You can see it's perfect. It's going to be coming right down here. So we'll pull the guard right here. H is going to follow behind. So you're going to get a little counter action. Right about, bring some motion to kind of window dressing it. And then Robinson, counter step, coming back. So that play is supposed to go right there. All right, but Rasheem is going to take it on right there, so he closes that gap. Tackle can't get there. He's got eyes for Christian, and Kirksey's one-on-one. If you're one-on-one with a running back, you've got to make this tackle, and Christian faces him up and then wraps him up. That is how it's supposed to be done, and that's how this Texans team has to tackle against Miami, because they got a lot of good dudes with the ball in their hands, and they will break tackles. That's how it's got to be done by Christian Kirksey this week against Miami.
Robinson, the tailback. Heineke digs in, and here's a feed to Robinson up the middle, but he's blasted right in the middle by Christian Kirksey.
Desmond King enters the deep slant. That's next on Texans 360. We're back at the Ford studio with more Texans 360. Every single week I sit down with a player. Desmond King, it's his 2nd year with the Texans, year 6 in the league, and we saw him get some interceptions against other teams this year at Jacksonville, and now Desmond King has moved all over the field. He plays slot corner, he plays outside when Derek Stingley's out, and I had a chance to sit down with Desmond King, a very versatile player who not only moves around on the defense, he's also the Texans' punt returner. Take a look at what Desmond had to say. It's the Deep Slant 101 presented by Xfinity. My guest this week, Desmond King, year 6, year 2 with the Texans. I know that it's been a crazy year so far, but You've sort of played all over the field. So what's it like for you to sort of move back outside?
Just being available, for when the team needs me to move somewhere. Wherever they ask me to go, I'm going to go there and I'm going to go do it. That's just what I'm about. And that's just about being a team player.
I know that Lovie Smith, he talks about how he likes players to just play one position. He doesn't like them to move around so much. And I feel like that does not apply to you because the one thing he likes about you is your versatility.
Right.
Like last year you came in here and you were asked to move outside and you never played outside before. So.
Yeah, no, that was the first time last year. So this year I kind of, I already been in that type of environment. So I'm already like kind of acclimated to like being an outside corner as well. So, it's good to go back out there. I know I'm going to get a lot more opportunities with the ball thrown my way. So just got to be ready to go.
Do you think that there are more interceptions when you're playing outside or is it when you're a slot corner? You've gotten quite a few playing.
Yeah. Last year I didn't have none at nickel when I first came. So when they moved me to outside, I got 3 of them. So
you did.
So I don't know. Maybe there is a difference. We're gonna see.
But you've never played outside with your previous teams.
No.
And I was looking at your record. So you have 8 career interceptions, and your team, whoever you've played for, has won all those games but one. I think last year you had 1 interception. We didn't win that game, San Francisco.
Yes.
But we beat the Titans on the road, beat Jacksonville. That was the last time you had an interception, and the last time the Texans won.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like it's like for you just getting your hands on the ball? Like what needs to happen in order for interceptions to come your way?
Just being opportunistic. I think that's what it all comes down to. When the ball comes my way, I got to seize the opportunity and make it happen.
All right, so you work one-on-one with Lovie. What's it like getting to work one-on-one with him so much?
It just comes down to knowing your responsibility with him. He could teach you a whole bunch of stuff, route concepts, personnels, and just like what you can think was going to happen. But really, he wants you to just read your keys, and just be instinctual. Like he wants you to use your instincts and just read your keys, and that's going to take you to where the ball is going to be at.
Desmond, a pleasure to talk to you once again. Best of luck for the rest
of the season. No problem, Deepi. Thank you.
Coming up, my football story with Thomas Booker. That's next on Texans 360. Texans 360 is presented by Comcast, by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. And by Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Houston Texans. One final segment of Texans 360. We've got a lot of rookies on this Texans team. Love getting to know them. One of them is Thomas Booker on the D-line out of Stanford. Has really gotten some great learning experience behind the likes of Jerry Hughes, Mario Addison, and some of the other guys on the D-line. And we get to know him a little bit better, how his story began playing football at Stanford.
I'm originally from Ellicott City, Maryland. I went to school in Baltimore, Maryland at the Gilman School, extremely supportive family. I actually wanted to play football from a really, really young age, but because of my weight, I was gonna have to play with kids that were probably 2 to 3 years older than me. So I played tennis, I played baseball, played basketball, I was on the AAU circuit, all that, playing 2-3 games a day. And then when I finally got to play football, I think my dad knew that I was going to have a football body from a pretty early age, so took it and ran with it. My high school experience was crazy. My sophomore year, we were ranked number 12th in the country. We had about 20 plus Division I guys, but it was just amazing for me because it really taught me what a brotherhood looks like, and that's something that I've been, super excited about with every single level I've gotten to. So I was fortunate enough to be recruited by a bunch of schools across the country, and for me, I didn't want to compromise on academics or athletics, so the list kind of got shortened. And I was super into, and still am super into technology. So Silicon Valley at Stanford, and also the fact that the weather's a little bit better in Northern California compared to the Midwest got me to go to Stanford. Coach Shaw is awesome. He engenders an atmosphere of asking questions about why you're doing things. That ends up giving him football players that understand the general scheme. When you understand the general scheme and the concepts of everything, you can adapt to all the different circumstances you're gonna see throughout a football game that aren't shown up in a game plan or what you've been doing in practice all week. So I think it helped me become, more of a holistic football player, more intelligent about the game. And then also just the locker room. Those are guys that I could have conversations, about anything with. football, philosophy, economics, all of it. Definitely getting to be in that locker room and with Coach Shaw as my head coach was a fantastic experience. The draft process was pretty crazy for me, you know, going from being at Stanford, graduating that quarter, then I went to the Shrine Bowl in Las Vegas, and came back and did the Combine. And that was a really surreal experience just because every football player grows up, you know, watching the 40-yard dash, watching the bench press, all that. So being able to actually take part in that, you start to really realize that, you know, this is coming around. You know, my dream might be coming true at some point. On actual draft day, man, you want to talk about nerve-wracking. There's not too many professions in the world where people can watch where you get hired to and how high you get hired to that place on national television in front of millions. Doing that with my family and having my support system there was huge. And actually, it was funny. While we were waiting for the call and everything, I hadn't gotten anything to drink. I hadn't gotten anything to eat up until that point. So after the fourth round passed, I was like, all right, I got to get something. My nerves are getting way too high for me to do this on an empty stomach. So, of course, in the 5 minutes that I was away from my family and my friends, I get the call from Houston. And man, when I tell you that it was just a surreal moment, and I just can't even describe it. You know, it was one of those things where there was relief, excitement, all of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Houston's been amazing. Definitely a difference in humidity and heat, for sure, compared to Northern California. But I think for me, like, I've just been trying to improve day by day. You know, the NFL is a completely different beast, and specifically from what I'm asked to do here versus college, you know, the big thing is just being a sponge, trying to retain as much information and get as many reps in, you know, because at the end of the day, to become an expert in anything, you got to put in a ton of reps to get your body to have that muscle memory.
Thank you so much for watching. That's going to do it for the show. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and as always, go Texans.
Thanks for watching, and go Texans! Like, subscribe, and ring the bell for new content.